Hi everyone, I'm Chef Leroy and welcome to My Cozy Kitchen. So you're at home right now probably saying, hey Chef, what are you cooking today? Well, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm outside with my Komodo Joe grill and we're setting it up for our smoked salmon. Okay, so got a little starter fuel, put that in there, charcoal, and we're going to light her up. Okay, open up our vents and we just let it fire up. So that's what we're going to do for now. I've got my wood chips I got to go grab, and I'm doing all this while our salmon is resting basically until that pellicle builds up on the salmon. It gets nice and tacky, and that's how the smoke sticks to the fish. There's one other step I'm going to do when that pellicle has been developed. I'm going to sprinkle some brown sugar and honey over the top of the fish. We're going to do a little bit of a sweet one this time. You don't have to do that. You can do a full smoke. I'm also doing a sous vide method that I'll show you after this is done. So step, step, step. But it's amazing fish when you do it this way. I'm telling you right now, it's unbelievable. All right, let's let that get going. Okay, so back in the kitchen here. The grill's going on outside. I haven't put my wood chips in there yet. I'm going to do that as soon as I put my brown sugar and my honey on my salmon. But we've got another 30 seconds to go. So what I'll tell you about the salmon, and I'll bring the camera down so you can see. So if you're, when the timer goes off, which is in 5 seconds here actually, so it'll go off and I'll shut that off here. Okay, so timers went off. Now, check your salmon. Put a finger on it, see if it's kind of tacky. Now if you notice that it's a little damp still, you can take a paper towel and just pat it dry, okay? This is also the time to move your salmon around to make sure there's gaps in between all the salmon. So now again, I got this cool little, it's actually for air frying, but you could use one of those pizza pans that have holes in it too. If you do any baking with pizza pans, those would work also with your salmon. You're not gonna be able to get this much salmon in that pan, but it'll work just fine. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add just a little bit of honey to each fillet. Just a little bit on each one. It's gonna be another curing thing, so once I get this done, I'm gonna go outside and put the wood chips on my grill and then get them nice and smoky, like so. A little honey, brown sugar glazed salmon. And you don't have to do this step. If you don't want it like that, you can just straight up smoke it. Also, you can just leave it on your grill and smoke it completely through. I'm doing a sous vide method, which I'll show you here shortly, to add to my madness. Okay, so let's spread that around on the pieces here. Right now it's kind of tacky, which is good because that's what you want. Brown sugar crust on there. Try to put an even amount on it as much as you can. As you can see, I still have this catch pan under here because there is also moisture from the fish that has leaked out from just sitting here curing through the curing process. So there's still a little bit of excess water that comes out of the fish. So that's why I have this pan, which is good too because it's catching all this brown sugar stuff, which I'll shake out of there in a second here. There you have it. So that was about, just about a cup of brown sugar. If you want measurements. Meanwhile, I got honey dripping off my other fingers. Try to shake the brown sugar through the pan a little bit so it's not going to cook to my grill too much. Okay, and we'll just kind of move our fish around a little bit again. Make sure that there's enough gap in between so they cook nice and evenly. Okay, I just pat them a little bit with my fingers to kind of pat that brown sugar in there a little bit. Any bigger chunks, just kind of break them up. Okay, just let that sit. I'm actually going to let that sit on there for 10 minutes. Okay, back out with the fish. Got it here on the side of my grill. Grill's at about 180, as it has been. Look at that smoke. Alright, so I'm going to put our little grate right on top. Fish, center, and close it down. And now we wait. Sorry, I got smoke in my eyeballs. So basically it'd be done at 4 o'clock. It's 3:30. Oh, yeah, you probably already know that. All right, well anyway, we'll let it go, and we want to watch that temperature. We do not want to get to 200 because then it's cooking a little too hot. So we really want to manage our levers here, our little vents. We keep them kind of closed up a little bit, and we should have beautiful looking fish. All right, so see you in a little bit. Okay, turn the camera back on out here, and we're back outside, and we have been grilling for about 12 minutes. But you always want to make sure you're watching this. I mean, if you have a timer on, that's great, but the timer's not actually cooking your food. You're cooking your food. So don't forget to watch your time, but also watch your temperature. Nice smoky that is, see? So I'm gonna kick that down. I'm gonna keep that smoke inside there really nice. I'll open up the top just to show you what it looks like. Ready? Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. That is awesome. Okay, so keep it closed. We've got another about 20 minutes, a little less than 20 minutes, and we'll be back out to take it off. All right, everyone, 30 minutes has elapsed. So now, if you want to continue to cook your salmon all the way through, this is not going to be cooked all the way through. This is only a 30-minute cook. I would go at least another half an hour. That's probably the best way. It's about 1 hour at a really low smoke. This has basically been around 150, 160, maybe up to 180 at any time. Mostly it's been pretty low. So we're ready to take it off. It's nice and chilly out here. So here we go. Look at that. Woohoo! Some gloves on. Take your salmon off. Set it on the pan. And you are ready to sous vide. That's the next step. Okay, so we're going to bring the fish upstairs, back into the kitchen, and we'll show you how to do a sous vide style. Okay, guys, I'm back inside. So you don't see my face at the moment, of course, but I'm here. Anyway, so you see a few things here, a couple tools, okay? I've got an iPad here. It's got my app on here for my Joule sous vide immersion circulator, as I call it. And I got some bags sitting around here too. You're probably saying, well, what are all these bags for? Well, that's what sous vide's all about. So these are common Ziploc bags. This is a freezer bag. This is a gallon one. This is a quart size one. Also freezer. You want to make sure they're freezer. This one is for my vacuum packer. Okay. I have a Food Saver vacuum packer. Okay. I'm going to use that today. That is basically the best way to do this, especially if you're going to put these right in the freezer. Okay. So one little trick I'll show you. I'll do it on one of the bags here. Open your bag, roll your edge down like so, and then add your fish or whatever you're gonna sous vide. And the nice thing about that is you keep the edge nice and clean, and when you get everything in there, you just fold it back up and you're done. Now these vacuum bags are a little tougher to do that. They don't fold very easily, so I don't usually worry about it too much. Now, next step you're gonna have to do is go around and loosen up your fish. They're gonna be stuck a little bit to there, so use a little spatula. Open your bag up and slide the fish in, okay? Now I meant to put 2 fish per bag, so that was kind of my goal. So just like so, okay? just like that. And then we'll show you the vacuum packer too. So right now we're just gonna go ahead and get all our fish in the bags. All right, so I'm gonna show you two things here. So first of all, you can see my pot here, stainless steel pot with my Joule water circulator in the pot, okay? Next to that, I've got some magnets. These are pretty slick to have. Got them on Amazon. And I've got all my salmon bagged and ready to go for sealing, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and start sealing our bags. So, pick up the top, drop it in. And seal it up. Now, a lot of times it'll draw a bunch of liquid up to the top. If you're using these, I always get some paper towels and I clean it right away because there's going to be a bunch of juice at the top here that just sucked out of the salmon. And then we're going to pop them right here in the pot. So I'll show you as soon as it gets done. Okay, the door pops up and then you can see there's a lot of stuff right here. So let's clean that off. And that one's ready to go. And then check inside, make sure it's not wet because it did draw up some liquid. And your machine will start to fail on you. Okay, so here's the app right here. It comes with the machine when you get it. It's pretty slick. You just upload it and then hook it up with your immersion water circulator, as I call it. And it's gonna say stop or start. So we want to start and done. And it tells you exactly what time it'll be done when it comes out. So I don't know if you can see that on there. So it should be done at 5:12 p.m. So we've been working on this project for quite some time. But now you just let it sit and cook. And then when it's done, and I drop them in ice bath water, get them really cold quick to kind of stop the cooking process because you want this stuff to be just done, basically. That's it. Okay, our timer has come. So everything has been done. Now, what's really cool about the Joule is it will show you what time you can leave it in the water without it overcooking to where it wants it to be. So technically I could still cook it for another like 5 minutes or so. So we're going to take it out. So we're going to hit the stop button on our app and that'll shut off our circulator. We're going to remove our salmon and I have a bowl of ice water that we are going to drop the fish into. Give them a quick cool down and hopefully I have enough room in here without having to drain it. But I'm just going to give them a nice quick shock. Give them that ice water, kind of cooling down sort of quickly. Now what I usually do is I'll put it right into the freezer. So I'll let them cool down a little bit. I'll dry them off with a towel and then I'll put them all in the freezer. So that's kind of concludes our long tutorial on smoked salmon with a sous vide twist. So let's have a recap. Okay everyone, so again, Chef Leroy here, and we did smoked salmon today. And it was a long process, it seems, but it is really worth it. And I'll tell you what, once you try this salmon, you will not ever buy it from the store again if you do it this way. You don't have to sous vide it. That's an extra step. You can continue to cook it on your grill. Like I said, it takes about another 30 minutes to another 40 minutes after that 30-minute time that I said. So you're looking at an hour to an hour and a half roughly, okay? So it takes about 10 minutes to do the first part of the prep. That's trimming the salmon, cutting it into pieces that you want. Most of the time when I do it, I cut it even skinnier. I cut it into about a 2-inch piece and I put a couple of them in a pack. We use those as kind of like a snack pack kind of deal. I think it works out pretty slick. Then you've got 30 minutes of cure time. You can go longer. You don't have to. I think 30 minutes is perfectly fine. If you go longer, it's going to get saltier. So I just usually go with just the 30-minute time. It also depends on the thickness of your fillet. These are kind of thinner fillets, so I think they're fine just to do 30 minutes. Next thing is then takes about 5 minutes to rinse them off. You can put them in a real cold ice water bath, rinse them off real quick. Put them out on a pan. I put them on that drain pan that I showed you, that little perforated pan. I use it all the time for smoking. It works really slick. It's actually for my air fryer. I put fries on it and air fry them, but I use it for my salmon or other smoked fish or chicken. I've done chicken too. So then we have that. So we let that rest for 30 minutes until the pellicle starts to develop, which is that tackiness on the fish. You can go longer if you want to, but if you pat dry them a little bit, it goes pretty quick, and 30 minutes I think is perfectly fine. The next step I did is I put brown sugar and honey on it, and I let that sit on there for another 10 minutes. If you don't do that step, you're fine to go. Smoke right away, okay? Then had the grill at about 150 to 170. That was the highest that basically I got, or maybe up to 180. But you really want that low smoke. You want a lot of smoke, but you want a low. Keep it low. If you're gonna do the sous vide, for sure you really want to, but if you're gonna finish them on your grill, you could go up to 200, but they kind of dry out. So if you want your fish to be nice and moist inside, don't let it dry out. Next thing is, again, keep it in that 150 to 180 range for 30 minutes. You can smoke longer. You can smoke it all the way through, like I said before, but I do the sous vide style, so I only go 30 minutes, okay? Pull them off. Again, I'm using a hickory smoke, hickory wood with hickory charcoal, wood charcoal, okay? And then sous vide, okay? So again, I use the Jewel. There's all other brands out there, but the trick on this one is 131 degrees for 45 minutes. You can put them in a Ziploc bag if you like, or you can do them in the vacuum pack like I did. I like to do them vacuum pack. I've done them in Ziplocs for a long time before I got my vacuum packer, but now I really like the vacuum packer. It's pretty slick. Chill them down right away. Get them cold, and then don't consume them this first day. Let them cool down in your refrigerator. Take it out the next day, or freeze them right away. Take them out days later, months later, whatever you want to do. So you should have unbelievable salmon, and believe me, when you try this fish, you will not buy it from the store again. You'll save yourself so much more money. Well, happy cooking.